If you could imagine your ideal way of working, what would it look like? Monday.com can make it your reality. With Monday.com, every business, no matter the industry or size, can simply work better. Monday.com adapts to every team's needs and connects departments in one unified workspace, giving the entire organization the ability to zoom out, track all moving parts, and make smarter decisions in real time. Get everyone aligned towards the
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Ms. Weaver. Who? Ms. Weaver. Ms. Weaver.
Oh.
Do it again.
Christina, can you check? Hey, Chris, I'm just going to go ahead and start from here because he's already called, already gavelled me in already. So we'll just get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the record formally in the matter of the state of Georgia versus Cleef Adams et al. In 22 SC 183 572. Go ahead and take roll for the morning. Let's see, Mr. Stillwell, Mr. Botts, and Mr. Sharp. Good morning, gentlemen. All right, Mr. Williams, Mr. Steele, Mr. Adams. Where's Mr. Adams? Is he outside?
I'll go get him, but yes, he's here, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Weinstein, good morning. All right, Mr. Huey and Miss My Food, good morning. Mr. Nichols and Miss Westmoreland, good morning. All right, and Mr. Ryan and Miss D. Williams, good morning. All right. Okay, Mr. Yahelski, Miss Love, Miss Knight, Miss Love, Mr. Atkins, and Mr. Brown, good morning. Miss Hilton, is that you? Okay, all right. Okay, so John Brown, all our jurors here?
Yes.
Okay. I am in receipt of email sent on Wednesday, the 29th of May at 9:54 p.m., which gives the PowerPoint of Dr. Henninger, which I'll include as the next court exhibit in order. I've also had an opportunity, I will also include Mr. Steele's response from the 30th of May at 7:14 a.m. And I'll also include his second response of at 10:46 a.m. Let me deal with a couple of issues out of it. Mr. Steele, I've had an opportunity, and Ms. Hilton, I've had an opportunity to consider the issue of the autopsy photos. Mr. Steele in particular objects to 311 Yankee, which is a photograph of which reports to be the decedent's kidney. And from looking at it, it would appear the extent of the injury from in the court's estimation, and I'm sure the medical examiner will talk about the projectile that went through that kidney. I've had an opportunity to take a look at that particular issue in terms of the photograph that's been objected to, or autopsy photographs in general. I've taken a look at Salverson, SALVERSEN versus the state at 317 Georgia 314 Note 2, discussing autopsy photos. And I've also had a chance to take a look at a more recent case, Baker versus the state, which is 2024 Westlaw 2738174. Again, 2024 Westlaw 2738174. And in talking about autopsy photographs and the admissibility of those photographs, it would appear that as long as that particular photo is shown to show the extent of injury, that it would be admissible. There's only one autopsy photo that Mr. Steele objected to. That was the 311 Yankee photograph. I know in general, even if you lodged an objection to the photographs as a whole, I believe there's 13 as a whole, giving various depictions. And from this court's earlier experience with autopsy photos, Dr. Henninger is going to come in here and testify about his procedure and everything else that goes along with it. So, Mr. Steele, I will note your objection under Salverson. I will also take into account Baker versus the state, and I'll give you a continuing objection on that particular issue. All right?
Appreciate it, Your Honor.
All right, you're very welcome. As for the screen, are you still trying to use that screen?
I think as long as the internet is working, we're good. As long
Good,
as
because I wasn't going to let you use it anyways. All right, so, but anyway, no, it takes up a lot of space, and there are constraints using that right here. So, but if you can do that without us going down on the internet, I'll take it up if we need to accordingly. Okay. All right.
Next one, question of the court regarding the autopsy photos. The state is requesting that the autopsy photos do not be published on the media, given the nature of those photos, that we're asking that when the photos are depicted on the screen, that the media does not show those pictures.
I think that would be a fair request to do. So who's ever here from the media today, when Dr. Henninger testifies, please do not, or anybody else, do not take photographs or stills or anything else of those particular photographs of as they are displayed. Okay. All right. Okay. Unless there's anything else, summon our jurors for us, please. Sergeant Brown.
All jurors present and counted.
All right. Thank you, Sergeant Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Members of the jury, good morning. Okay, all right. You sound kind of tepid. All right, so, but let's see if we can get some excitement. All right, so, Sadie, you ready for your next, or to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is ready, and so the court's instruction, we will be calling Mr. Sammy Davis.
All right, summon Mr. Sammy Davis, please. Mr. Davis, good morning, sir. Sir, if you could please approach the witness stand here. Once you get there, if you'd be so kind and turn and face Sergeant Brown and be sworn as a witness before you sit down, sir.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony and or statement you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Will.
Have a seat. Give it just to the microphone. State your first and last name with the spelling of both for the courts.
All right. Sammy Davis. I would be with S-A-M-M-Y. Davis, D-A-V-I-S.
All right. Pull yourself up as close to the microphone as you can, Mr. Davis.
All right.
Wonderful. All right. All right, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Davis.
Good morning, sir.
All right, where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay. And what part of Atlanta are you from?
I'm really from the east side, but I was living on the west side for a substantial amount of years as well.
Okay. So, I'm gonna do something so that you can be heard clearly.
All right.
You can just take your time for Madam Court Reporter, as I'm trying to do today.
All right.
She would appreciate it. Okay. Where do you live today?
I live on McDaniel Street.
How old are you?
I'm 59 years old, sir.
You have any children?
Yes, 42 and 43.
And when you say 42, 43, is that their ages?
Yes.
What do you do for work?
I detail cars and also I park cars as well.
Were you doing that type of work in 2015?
Yes, sir.
And how much were you charging to wash and park cars in 2015?
$20 car.
Still doing that price today?
Yes, it all depends. It all depends what kind of car it is. The exotic car, I go up a little bit.
I got you.
Yeah.
So where about would you wash cars at that time in 2018?
I'll be right there in the parking lot right there by on McDaniel Street, right by the barber shop. Next time to the barber.
Okay. And when you say the barbershop, what barbershops are you talking
I'm talking about Unlimited and A&M.
I'm gonna approach you with some water. I hear you need to clear your throat.
All right.
I'll give you a second. You want to take a sip?
I'm all right.
All right. All right, I'm gonna publish for your viewing, State's Exhibit 293 Yankee. Just 1 second.
Right.
All right. So, Mr. Davis, before we play, you can turn to your left.
Mhm.
There's a screen right here
Right.
that you can look at,
Mhm.
and it also can do some things here with this little marker, with that color. And when you touch it and put a mark on there, it'll put a identifier or something on the screen. Okay. All right. So looking at that screen, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what area are you familiar with this area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what street is this running horizontally at the bottom of the screen?
Northside Drive,
And what street is running here vertically on this side of the screen?
McDaniel Street.
Okay. And is McDaniel Street the area that you indicated that you work at?
Yes, sir.
And just briefly. And in 2015, did you live in the apartments in Edmonton City?
Yes, I stayed in Castleberry.
Okay. And did you stay alone or with someone?
My sister,
Okay. What's her name?
Sabrina.
All right. She still live over there?
Yes, sir.
And you still visit her from time to time?
Yes, sir.
Looking at this screen that's in front of you, if you would be as kind, are you familiar with the text code over there?
Yes, sir.
If you see the text code on the screen at this time, would you put an X there using your finger on the screen?
Right here.
Okay, all right. And going to fast forward to the 6:20 timestamp on this video.
Mhm.
And I'm going to erase that mark. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Earlier, Mr. Davis, you indicated, thank you. And that's perfect, actually. For the record, the timestamp is actually 6:17, Your Honor, of State's Exhibit 293 Yankee. Mr. Davis, looking at this screen, do you see the two barbershops that you say you're familiar with on McDaniel Street?
Yes, sir.
And if you would be as kind, could you put a circle on A&M Barbershop?
A&M Circle.
Yes, sir. And for the record, do you see Hair Unlimited Barbershop that you talked about?
Yes, sir.
For the record, can you put a triangle on Hair Unlimited? Thank you. All right. Still paying attention to this exhibit. Do you see any of the areas on this particular screen where, or this particular timestamp of this exhibit where you would wash cars from time to time?
Yeah, right here.
When you say right here, could you do, all right? I'm gonna ask you to put a, if you put a plus sign in the area you would wash cars, okay?
All right.
All right,
Sometimes here as well.
okay, and when you say here, you're pointing to the
Right
area
there.
between the two barbershops?
Right, sir.
If you put a square in that little area. Okay, and on, how long have you been washing cars in that area?
20 years, man.
You said 20 years?
I better, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember washing any cars on January 10, 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to flip this screen for a second.
Mhm.
All right. And do you know anyone by the name of Nut?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know him?
Well, came up in the hood together around,
Come into the mic.
and came up in the hood together on the University of John Hope, and come around the university area of John Hope. My apartment in the area at the particular time they had them up. Yeah.
Is that also known as the Castleberry area?
Yes, sir.
And how many years did you know that?
Oh man, a lot of years. Cause I remember teenagers so were coming up. I'm a little older than you, but I remember he was a young boy coming up. And want to get into the game for the rapping game. Want to be a star, you know. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to circle back to that. You say that he got into the rap game. Do you know any artists that he may have worked with?
Well, one of the main artists I know he worked with Lucci.
Are you familiar with the name Birdman?
Birdman,
Birdman.
Cash Money Millionaire.
That would be him. Are you telling me or asking me?
Right, that would be him.
All right. Do you know if Nut had any friendship or relationship with Birdman?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever personally observed? Have you ever personally observed Lucci with Nut?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereabout would you have noticed him?
I know when they came to the barbershop together.
When you say the barbershop, which one are you talking
On Hair Unlimited.
about? Okay, here. Do you, in that area when you would wash cars, did Nut ever come to ask you to wash his car?
Yeah.
All right. Did you?
Yeah.
How often would you wash his car?
About like every other day. Every day, either every other day.
All right. Would you say that you consider Nut a friend?
Yeah.
On the day of January 10th, yes, please. Thank you. Now publishing for the jury, what has already been admitted, State's Exhibit 3, Yankee. And you can turn to the screen again to your left to look at what is being published, Mr. Davis.
Right.
Do you recognize the person in that photo?
Yeah.
Who was in that photo?
That.
I'm sorry?
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would Nut pay you for you detailing his car?
Yeah.
And how much would he pay?
$40, $50.
Is that more than what you'd be asking?
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
all right. And would you wash it in the area? Let me ask you this: where would you normally detail this car?
I would normally do a car right there in between AM and Hair Unlimited.
Between the two barbershops.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. And do you recall if you may have? Do you recall if you seen him on January 10th, 2015?
Yeah, someone.
Did you on January 10th, 2015 at all wash his car that day?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know about what time you may have washed his car?
I can't really recollect on the time. But it was still daylight.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't really recollect on the time, but it was still daylight.
Okay. Was the sun all the way up or was it starting to come down?
It started to come down.
Mr. Davis, would you ever go out in the Texaco area that you described earlier and be in that area when you weren't washing cars?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you go out there?
Because I just think certain people trying to hang, shoot the breathe, and talk. You know what I mean? Just kick it.
And when you say those things that you said, hang, shoot the breeze, kick it, what do you mean by those things? Let's start with one. What do you mean by hang?
They just shoot and breathe, just kick around for the day, you know what I mean? Talk.
Okay, so shooting the breeze.
Shoot and breathe, just kick it, just talk.
All right. And how often would you go out in that little area and shoot the breeze, as you say?
We do it all the time.
And when you say we, is it fair to say that you're talking about there are other people?
Other guys. Right.
All right. Do you know their names?
Not necessary.
All right. Do you still see them all the time?
Not all of them, but I see some of them.
Okay. On January 10, 2015, before you washed Nut's car, were you hanging around and shooting the breeze with those gentlemen, those persons that you described?
Mm-hmm.
Just agree to those, John.
Your Honor, if state is no longer using the three-wide aspect, no longer published, in Byron testimony.
No, I haven't heard of it.
You could take down 3Y, please.
Sure. On the day of January 10th, 2015, was Nut wearing the outfit that you saw in State's Exhibit 3Y that was just taken down?
No, not that one.
What do you recall them to have been wearing on that evening?
Camouflage.
What do you say, sir?
Camouflage, suit.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And prior to watching his, let me ask you this, what kind of vehicle did he have?
Big, what I can't think of the name of it, blue.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of it,
It's
blue.
okay. Now publishing State's Exhibit number 14 Yankee, which has already been included in the evidence. Do you see Nut's vehicle in this picture?
Right here.
Yes, sir. And when you say right here, can you describe what you're pointing at?
Blue, what is it? What kind of car is it, man?
Is that a truck?
It's a truck, though.
So is it fair to say it's a blue truck?
Right.
Okay. All right. When you were out detailing his vehicle, did you have any conversation with him prior to starting?
We talked just a little bit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
And did he hang around after while you were detailing his vehicle?
Right, yeah.
Okay. What, if anything else, do you remember that occurred that evening as you were out detailing his vehicle?
Mainly nothing, man. Just smoother day, you know, which I thought was gonna be smooth. All of a sudden, you know, bam, everything break loose, man, you know.
And when you say bam, everything break loose, what are you talking about?
I'm speaking on that.
If you scoot back up to the mic,
I'm just, we're talking about the act of that moment, you know, the diabolical and the evil stuff that was happening doing it around by that time. You know, I forgot to shoot and breathe with the barbershop, you know. So that's when I saw some things go down, you know.
What did you see go down?
Well, I saw a car coming down McDaniel Street. My wife came out of the sunroof. When he came out of the sunroof, that's when it all broke loose.
What broke loose?
Fire, gunplay.
Gunfire.
Yeah.
And I want to put back up the last day's exhibit.
Which was?
Excuse me, Your Honor, that should have been, my sincere apologies, Your Honor. That should be 14.
All right, thank you.
And when you say that all this broke loose, as you say, you use your words, do you see where on this state's exhibit, which is state's exhibit 14 Yankee, where Nut would have been standing?
Yeah, they were standing around, but he was coming. He was coming out of the barbershop.
Out of which barbershop?
I had Unlimited.
Okay.
He was coming out of the rail. When he coming out of the rail, there was a car stopped here and came out of the sunroof. You know, bullet went flying there all in the barbershop. Two other couple of guys got hit by his car on the back. They was on this side. On the side he got hit. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions with respect to what you just described, and we're going to break some of that down. On which side of the vehicle was Nut on the left side or the right side of the vehicle?
On the driver's side.
Okay, on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And on what side were the other individuals?
On the passenger side over here.
Okay.
There was two of them.
Okay, go ahead, finish what you said.
There was two guys, yeah.
Okay. Who are those two guys? Do you
One guy named Reggie, and we call another guy Tiger. I know Reggie got hit in the side. I think Tiger got hit in the leg.
Was the car that, can you recall the color of the car?
I can't recollect, man. Can't recollect the color, none of that, man.
If I show you, just to bring it on,
Sure.
Okay. Let's dial back to a step to something you said earlier. When the vehicle that came down the street and fired the shots that you just described, it did that act. Where were you?
I was right by.
And if you will, I'm gonna give you this wooden pointer. And I'm gonna hand it to you. And if the court will allow, I'll ask Your Honor if he can step down just briefly to direct the jury with this pointer.
He may step down and illustrate his testimony for the jury.
I'm gonna hand you this.
All right.
And I want you to be careful because there's a step here. And if you slide back.
All right.
Yes, sir. And you can come on down as the court has allowed.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes, sir. All right. And right here.
Okay.
Actually, it seems like you might need a step up. I want, with that pointer, can you please show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you were standing when Mr. Thomas was shot?
I was standing right here by the back, the car back. I mean, not the car back, in Texaco, the vacuum when you clean.
Okay.
Back.
All right.
Right there. Next side, next to it.
Okay. And using the wooden pointer that you have, can you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where Mr. Thomas was standing?
He's coming down.
Okay.
The barbershop, coming out of the barbershop down with it.
Is it fair to say that he was at or near that fire hydrant that this wooden pointer is?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And can you use that same wooden pointer now that you're up to point out where the other two individuals were that you say were shot that evening?
On the other side.
Okay. All right. You may reclaim your seat.
All right.
But hold on to that wooden pointer.
All right.
We're gonna use it again.
All right.
All right. I want to republish State's Exhibit 293 Yankee. And I want to move forward to the timestamp of 6:20. Okay, Mr. Davis, I'm gonna have you rise once again. And again, watch your step there, and stay on this ledge. I want you, for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to show where you would have been standing, if you can, based on where your position, using the wooden pointer, where you would have been standing when you saw the vehicle come down and fire the shots. Standing near, what is that you're pointing at?
So right by the back. Vacuum.
A vacuum. Okay. All right. And where you were standing, were you able to have a clear line of sight as to what happened?
Right.
All right. You may reclaim your seat. I want to keep that exhibit up just for a moment. Turning to the screen to your left. Do you see McDaniel Street?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to ask you, was that barbershop that you see, that structure that appears to be orange, closer to the vacuums as you described, is that Hair Unlimited?
Right.
And was it that color in 2015?
In 2015, I know he had painted it. I think it was green or something like that.
Can you say that? Can you say it was green?
I think it was green.
Okay. All right. And just keep in mind that the mic.
Because I know after that incident happened, by being at the time, I know he kept for a while, but I think he painted another color.
Okay.
So yeah, because he didn't want to identify that with what went on at his shop.
The vehicle that you saw the shots come from, can you say whether the vehicle was new or old?
It was old. It wasn't a new model car. It was an old model.
Were you able to see any persons inside of the vehicle other than the person that came up through the sunroof?
Not really.
Okay. Were you able to tell about how many people would you say were in it? Based on-
I know it was two of them.
At a minimum?
It had to be, because somebody had to be driving while the person come out of the sunroof.
Okay. Was there ever a time that you saw the front passenger of the vehicle?
Not really.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Your Honor, ask and answer.
No, Your Honor, that's a different question.
Objection, Your Honor, ask and answer.
I sustain the objection.
Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Can you describe the rate of speed that the vehicle was traveling before it got to the front of Hair Unlimited Barbershop?
It wasn't real fast, cause you come down like Daniel Street. So, I mean, it was fast enough. It was like it was time.
Okay. I'm gonna take this back from you just for the time being and put it in front of you so you can be heard because it's kind of covering your mouth. Okay?
Right.
And during the shooting, did the vehicle stop?
You had to stop right by the barber shop.
Okay. And when you say the barbershop, are we still talking about Hair Unlimited?
Right.
Okay. And after was there a time that the shooting concluded?
I'm just fired the shot and went on down Mike Daniel Street, hit a right on the Northside Drive.
Excuse me, just a moment. Would you say this, how long would you say the shooting lasted?
A minute so, cause about a good minute. He was fired.
When you say a minute, are you saying that as a way to say a few seconds or?
Yeah, it was a little.
Wait.
It was good.
Davis, if there's an objection, just stop talking and let me rule on, okay? All right, I'm gonna sustain the objection. That's the way you can rephrase it.
Sure thing, Your Honor. I'll move on, Your Honor. What, if anything, did you do when those shots were being fired?
What did I do then? What you asking?
Excuse me, yes, what, if anything, did you do when you heard the shots fired?
Well, when the shot was fired, we looked it up. So I hit the ground. You know, looked up and see what's going on. I hit the ground, and I saw one nut. I know that the nut was hit. So we ran up there to him. And Rev came out of the A&M barbershop. The Reverend at the time, the Reverend. You know, tried to hold him. He kept telling him, say it's over, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who said it's over?
Nothing.
And when you say Rev, are you saying R-E-V?
Yeah, Reverend, like a Reverend, yes, sir.
Speaking of preacher.
Yes, sir.
At the time that you hit the ground, were there any other people that were still outside with you that hit the ground?
Yeah, yes, sir.
When you hit the ground, were you still able to see the vehicle that from where the shots came?
Yeah.
All right. And was there ever a time when it was on McDaniel Street that you lost sight of that vehicle?
No.
Were you able to see the vehicle from the start of the shots to the end of the shots?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I think we hit to make that right on the outside drive.
Okay. Can you describe what the shot sounded like?
It was an assault rifle.
Okay. And when you heard the shots, did it sound like it was more than one gun being fired?
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Right. Before Nutt was shot, as well as the other two individuals that you said were shot, were you able to see what he was doing?
I wasn't able to see what he was doing at the time.
Before he was shot, and Chopper and Reggie described were shot as well. Were you still watching the car at that time?
Now I was through with the car. I was finished.
Okay. Had they already paid you?
Right.
I would like to show State's Exhibit 293 Yankee once more. And I want to go to timestamp the very beginning of this, if you will, the very beginning of the footage. All right. Not to play. Do you see Northside Drive from this timestamp, which is it should be 00?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, and do you also see McDaniel Street?
Right.
Utilizing the screen, make sure it's still functioning. All right. I want you to draw a line starting where you saw the vehicle come and where you saw it leave the scene.
So come about a barbershop.
Keep going.
Keep going.
As far as you know where it have traveled.
Right.
And then where did you go after that?
Okay. Straight up north side.
Okay. And is that as far where you stopped drawing that red line? Is that as far as you saw the vehicle go? You could see it go?
I could see it go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that as far as you could see it go?
Yeah, before I could see it go from here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever get up from the ground after the shots were fired?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did you ever see Nut fire a shot back?
No.
Okay. Did you ever see Reg fire a shot back?
No.
Did you ever see Chopper fire a shot back?
No, sir.
And is Reg and Chopper nicknames of the other two individuals that you knew at that time?
Mhm.
Okay.
That a yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
After you got up off of the ground, did the other persons that you were shooting the breeze with that evening also get up off of the ground?
Yes, sir. When they got, I don't know where they went.
Okay. Can you say that
When they had gotten up, I don't know where they go.
After you got up, where, if anywhere, did you go?
Ran right up to that. I ran right to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you ran to Nut, was Rev already there, or was he just in?
Rev was just coming out too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And out of what barbershop did Rev come out?
A&M.
Okay. Do you know if Rev was an employee there?
He was an employee.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Had you ever been in A&M to get your hair cut?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who would cut your hair when you were going to A&M?
Mr. George.
Mr. George. Who was Mr. George?
Oh man, old man. I think Mr. George was in 1940 something, 30 something. Yeah.
Okay.
He had been in that long.
Who was the owner in 2015 of A&M Barbershop?
Mr. George.
What was Mr. George's last name, if you know?
I don't know the last name.
Okay. When you got off of the ground and saw Rev come to Nut, what is it that, or what if anything did you do when you got to Nut?
I started talking to him. So I got there before Rev. So when I got there, Rev came a couple of seconds after I came. Man, he just told me, he said it's over with. I said, what's it? He said we ain't gonna make it, you know. Yeah.
Did you try to help Nut at any point?
I mean, whatever help I could do, I mean, but then I could really do, you know. He said he was going, you know.
Did you get on the ground with Nut?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you touch him in any way?
Right.
What did you do when you touched him?
I put my arms around him, you know.
Did Nut remain conscious the entire time you were with him?
No.
Do you know if emergency services ever arrived to the crime scene?
They came.
Were you still there when they got there?
Yeah.
And what, if anything, happened when they arrived? What if anything, did you do once they arrived? Excuse me.
I just walked right to the left.
Where did you go, if anywhere?
I think I went to the park.
What park are you talking about?
Cleopas Park, Northside Drive.
Okay, in which you're utilizing the same screen, what direction, would that park be? On your side?
It's the same direction, but on the other side of the street you go up.
Okay,
You see what I'm saying? Across the street from that, you go up that sidewalk. That side of the park is on Cleopas.
is there any landmarks over there? Cleopas Park?
But I mean, it's her
Any
stuff.
restaurants?
I mean, at Burger King.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess they've been there most been there since I was a little boy. So I guess it is.
Mr. Freeman, don't try.
Yes, sir.
After did you ever go back over to that area of the McDaniel Northside Drive area to wash cars after that day?
Wait, it slowed down a lot. It slacked up, so I would go on Peter Street.
If you would cover your mouth so she can hear you. Yes.
It slowed down over in that area, like when it went down. So I would go on Peter Street and still wash cars.
And when you say slowed down, it slowed down. Are you talking about business?
Business wise, yeah.
Were you had anything like that happened in that area to your knowledge before while you were there?
Objection out of relevance.
I sustain the objection.
Was there a time, excuse me, around when did you go back to that area, if at all, to start washing cars?
It was a month after, a few months after. And like I said, things were slowing down, business started to slow down really at both barber shops because people didn't want to come over in that area, you know.
I want to publish for the jury's viewing, which has already been admitted into evidence, that being State's Exhibit 12, Yankee. Okay. Mr. Davis, again, to your left is a screen showing the State's Exhibit 12Y. Utilizing this exhibit, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if this was the area, in fact, where you washed the car, or did you wash it by vacuum?
His car, that's how I washed it inside right here.
Do you see any moisture or liquid on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Is that from where you washed the vehicle?
It could have been, I don't know.
Did you do the inside and outside?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is that your normal custom to do inside and outside?
Yes, sir.
And did did Nut have a nickname for you?
It's short.
You said Shorty?
Yeah, short thing. Yeah.
Okay, and how did you get that nickname?
He gave it to me.
Okay, and why did he give you that nickname?
Because I was short.
Objection out of speculation.
Oh, sir.
Just a brief note, sure. Okay. Do you remember ever speaking to law enforcement, specifically as Detective Thornton, after this was all said and done?
I don't remember it that fast, no.
Do you recall speaking with law enforcement at all or being interviewed after this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if a Detective Thornton was in the room during those interviews?
I don't know my name.
Okay, all right. When you were interviewed by law enforcement, do you know if it was the same night or time later?
No time later.
Okay, about how much time later would you say it was?
I don't know, weeks, months, something like that. A few weeks or a month.
Is it fair to say it's years later?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
It's over no more, man, you know.
Where were you when you were interviewed by law enforcement years later?
Or I think I was incarcerated, man.
Were you in the Fulton County Jail?
Right.
Do you remember what for?
For a particular incident, same thing right here.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
For
hear.
the same thing right here, what we're discussing now.
Okay.
That was for.
Okay, no, I think, what were you in the Fulton County Jail for?
I don't know whether forgery or something like that, probation, somewhere violation. I went up and down.
Did you speak to law enforcement willingly?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And, did you say anything to law enforcement in those interviews with the hope of getting out of jail?
Objection.
I stand the objection.
Were you promised anything
No, sir.
by law enforcement?
No, sir.
Did you immediately go tell the police on the night of the shooting what you saw happen?
I think I did. I think I had said something to police concerning that.
Did your niece, do you have any nieces or nephews?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a niece who knew anything about this incident?
Objection, calls for stipulation.
I'll sustain the questions to form. You can.
I'll rephrase. Have you talked to a niece related to what you saw and heard about this incident?
Yes.
And did your niece tell you that a television reporter was out?
Objection,
I sustain this to form.
I have a few more questions for you, Mr. Davis.
All right.
And I am going to pivot back to State's Exhibit 293 Yankee. Okay. Okay, I am going to play for you State's Exhibit 293 Yankee, and I would ask for you to tell me to stop when you see the direction from which the vehicle that contained the shooters came from, okay?
I'm gonna object to the answer.
Basis. I sustain the objection.
All right. Just brief indulgence. Just a minute. Earlier, we spoke about you having a conversation with law enforcement after this shooting occurred. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to ask you a few more questions about that. Do you recall telling law enforcement that you actually laid eyes on the front passenger of the vehicle?
I said that.
Okay. And do you recall telling law enforcement during your interview that you recognized the front passenger from the mechanics?
I said that.
Hold on. I sustain the objection to form.
Do you recall? I'll ask you a different question. Where, if anywhere, did you tell law enforcement if you knew?
I'm gonna object to the reading question.
I sustain this to form.
Do you know where you saw the front passenger? Did you recognize the front passenger from me?
I don't.
Are you familiar with the Mechanicsville area of Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if anyone involved that was in that vehicle was from that area?
Objection, Your Honor, asking is.
Overrule, sir.
You can answer that question.
I know one guy from over there, that area.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
It was one guy they called Woody. He was from over there in Power. I think it was Woody, whatever they call it. It's in it. It's in it.
Okay,
But
let me ask you a better question. Do you recall telling law enforcement that you knew? It's a different question, Your Honor.
I said, it's still leading us to form, Mr. Brown, so figure out another way to ask the question.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Maybe who, what, when, where, why. Try that.
May we approach, Your Honor?
No, maybe who, what, when, where, why. Ask the question.
It's impeachment, Your Honor. Yes.
Still. You got him on direct.
Sure. Who, if anyone, that you described in your interview was from Mechanicsville?
Woody, that guy, that name, it's Woody something. Nickname, Woody, whatever.
Do you know, during your interview, do you recall providing a description of the person who was the first front seat passenger to law enforcement?
I had said that.
Okay, and do you recall, as a part of that description, providing any identifiers?
Right.
How did you describe the front passenger of that vehicle from where the shots rang out to law enforcement?
I said some like, I don't know, red, like brown, something like. But at that time, I was going through so much, man, mentally. You know, I was just want anybody to get locked up, man, for doing it to my friends. So I wasn't in my right frame of mind at the particular time, man.
Do you know what kind of
Witness be allowed to finish his answer?
That's just one of my right frame of mind.
Hold on. Sir, did you complete your last response?
Sir?
Did you complete your last response?
Yes.
That's what you're gonna say?
No, that was it.
All right, okay.
What hairstyle, if any, do you recall the front passenger of that vehicle from where the shots rang out had?
I don't know, man.
If I showed you a transcript of your interview from the day that you spoke with law enforcement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
All right. Just briefly, no. And I am going to approach defense counsel with a copy of the same.
What exhibit what are you gonna mark it as, sir?
And just a brief indulgence, Your Honor. It would be State's Exhibit 323 Yankee Alpha 1.
One more time,
323 Yankee Alpha 1.
for identification. Okay,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
all right.
And I do believe defense counsel was provided a copy. And I am turning to page 18. And I'm starting at line 25. And I will stop, Your Honor, on page 19 at line 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to read out loud what it is that I'm handing you.
Right.
I want you to start here
Mm-hmm.
and then come over here and finish right here. And when you finish reading that, I want you to look up at me, okay? So from here to here.
All right. From 25 to what? To 3?
Page 18, line,
And I'm
page
just
18,
saying.
line 25 to page 19, line 2.
All right.
Yes, sir. Have you had a chance to read, the line numbers and page numbers that I directed you?
Yes, sir.
After reading those line numbers of page 18, 25, line 25, and page 19, lines 1 and 2, what do you recall having told law enforcement that the hairstyle of the front seat passenger was?
It was red.
Dress. Do you recall, based on what you just read, what complexion you described the front seat passenger to have?
Yes, sir.
What complexion was it?
Brown skin.
And I'm gonna just take this and close it because you can't read from it.
Okay. All right.
Brief it over. All right, do you recall the age that you indicated the front seat passenger may have been? Is that enough?
I can't recollect on that.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna show you now State's Exhibit 323, Yankee Alpha 1 again, and I'm turning to page 20. And I'm gonna direct your attention to line 6 of that page to line 8, okay? So from here, which is line 6, to line 8. And when you've read it, look back up at me and I'll ask you a few more questions.
Okay.
Okay, did you have a chance to fairly review that transcript? Okay, about how old did you tell law enforcement that the front seat passenger was?
He's a young dude.
Okay, looking at me.
Right.
Okay, you said he's a young dude?
Right.
About how old did you tell?
About 20.
Okay, all right. And do you recall about how tall you would have thought he was? Is that a no?
Yes or no?
Okay, I'm now approaching you again and directing your attention on State's Exhibit 323 Yankee Alpha 1, and I am showing you line 23 of page 20. Line 23 to line 24, these two lines. Here you go. When you've had a chance to read them, you can look at them.
All right.
Okay, what did you tell law enforcement on that day? About his height?
By 5'8", 5'9".
Okay, I want you to look back up at me. And so do you recall if that front seat passenger had any facial hair? Looking at me.
No.
Okay, you don't recall? I'm now approaching you again to show you State's Exhibit 323 Yankee Alpha 1, and I am directing your attention to page 21 of that same exhibit, lines 2 through 3. And when you've read those lines, you can look back up at me and I'll read from the exhibit.
All right.
Okay, what did you tell law enforcement and looking at me?
No facial hair.
No facial hair?
Right.
Okay. Now, I want to circle back to something you said earlier. What did you mean when you said that you told Detective Ford that you was messed up and wanted to get somebody locked up because of the situation? What was that?
My mind was messed up, man. I wasn't thinking clearly.
Can you move your hand for your mouth?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking clearly, man. Wasn't in my right frame of mind at the particular time. Because all that was going on. I saw my friend got killed. So I just I don't want anybody to go down who I thought had something to do with it.
And, but is it fair to say that you weren't targeting any particular person?
No, I wasn't targeting.
Hold on. I stand the objection.
Yes, Your Honor. Don't answer that question. Were you targeting any particular person that day?
No, not really.
Did you earlier say that you just wanted to get someone locked up?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay. Were you willing to lie to just get someone locked up?
Yeah, been in my frame of mind, yes, I will.
Were you as truthful as you could be during that time that you were interviewed by law enforcement to provide them with complete and accurate answers?
No, sir, I wasn't.
What did you say to law enforcement on that day that you believed to be the truth?
I believe to be the truth of when I explained when the guy was coming down, Mike
Your
Daniel.
hand from your mouth?
Yeah, when the guy was coming down, the whole truth is when the guy was coming down Mike Daniel Street, is the truth. He stopped right there he came from the barber, came out the sunroof, he started firing, and kept straight on down Mike Daniel, then hit the right on North Side Drive. For like saying as he made a right at the Texaco and went up North Side. That's why to be the truth,
Were the descriptions that you provided of the front seat passenger the truth?
No,
Okay. Was the sounds of the firearms that you heard to be discharged the truth?
that's the truth.
Where you went to help Nut after he hit the ground, was that the truth?
That's the truth.
Was what Nut told you when he was when you went and put your arms around him the truth?
That's the truth.
When Rev came out of the barber shop, was that the truth?
That's the truth.
When you stopped to get up off of the ground after you saw the vehicle come down the McDaniel Street, was that the truth?
That's the truth.
Is the fact that you watched vehicles in that area the truth?
The truth.
Right. When you talked to the detectives, was I in the room?
No, sir.
Okay. When you talked to law enforcement, were these jurors in the room?
No.
Okay. Were any of the defendants on this case inside the room?
Oh, I'll stand the objection.
Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor. And finally, Mr. Davis, is what you have told the jury, ladies and gentlemen of the jury today.
I'm going to object to what I believe that question is going to be improper.
Your Honor, I believe.
Let me hear the question first, Mr. Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. Is what you have told the ladies and gentlemen of the jury today, to the best of your recollection, accurate and true?
Yes,
I'm going
sir.
to object, Your Honor. It's improper.
I stand the objection.
Did you have any further involvement with this particular incident after you spoke with law enforcement?
No, sir.
No further question at this time.
Cross. Mr. Weinstein.
No cause, Your Honor.
Ms. D. Williams. Mr. Adams.
There's no question.
Mr. Sharp. I miss anybody? Let's see. Oh, Miss Westmoreland. Thank you, madam. All right. Anybody else I missed? Okay. May we permanently or temporarily excuse Mr. Davis?
Permanent, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis? Over here. Everybody does that. Don't worry about it. Mr. Davis, I'm going to permanently excuse you as a witness. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay? And you're free to go about whatever it is you have on your list of things to do today, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
No, you can leave the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, you good? Okay. All right. Call your next witness.
Sorry, Your Honor. We have a brief conflict.
I didn't ask you. I asked them. That was not the code for you to get up and interrupt these proceedings.
Taking one for the team, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. We'll take 10 minutes, okay? All right, we'll be in recess 10 minutes. All right.
All right, councilors, please be seated. Our jury has left us. State,
Who's your next witness?
our next witness will be Mr. Jared Washington.
Okay, all right. And anticipate length?
I know you're gonna add something to it, Your Honor. I would say about 35, 45.
Okay,
I'll say an hour to be safe.
okay, all right. Thank you. All right, we're in recess.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sammy Davis has left the stand. Don't mistake him for the legendary Sammy Davis Jr. This is Mr. Sammy Davis. Was this witness even necessary? That's the question I must ask. Was this witness even necessary? Because he was not even cross-examined by none of the attorneys, and he was almost being led by the prosecutor, Prosecutor Brown. So I don't know if it was really necessary. If we see, well, we know we're going to have a ME or medical examiner come up. And we also know that there has been instruction by the judge for the media not to shoot the autopsy photos. I have shot autopsy photos in the past. And when I tell you, pretty horrific, especially when it's involved gunshots. And I shot one where someone got their head shot in the head. But they're pretty graphic. At the time, I recorded, but we weren't live streaming. So I edited that part out of the video. But these things are very disturbing to the loved ones. No one wants to see their loved one's skull blasted on the internet. So I don't know. Mr. Brown, when you're not getting cross-examined, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's like the defense saying, nah, this witness wasn't, we ain't got nothing for him. He didn't really do much. But we'll see. We'll see. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, we are on a comfort break. I expect you guys to be back in 5 minutes. While they took 10, you guys, I need you to be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
single day, I am in Mandeville now. Yes. And then Mandeville. And guess who's with me, y'all? Check it out. Let me tell you something right now. Share and share alike. That's what it's all about. Share and share alike. It doesn't cost us anything. You know, it don't cost us anything. Share and share alike. Let me tell you, I was on Grover's house this morning. It was my night. It was like, I forgot, was it 12 something or 1 something in the morning? But let me tell you something. I went on there because there's a lot to learn, right? And he's one of the ones that will teach you. So I went on there, and trust me, I went on there for as long as I could go on there, and my eyes, because remember, I was on that 4-hour bus ride from Montego Bay to Hill at the Metro Express. I was on there, and I was up early in the morning, and I was just exhausted, but I had to, when I seen that come up, I had to go on there. So, you know, yeah. So anyway, getting back to the channel. So, Kay in Jamaica says, one connection about I absolutely love the family and community. Darling says hello, Winston H. Fluffy Gita says hello, Roxanne. I know I'll probably repeat myself. Darling says Savage Ray. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Savage Hot Kitchen. Hands. I thank you so much. My young sister. I'm calling my young sister because I know I'm older than her. Anyway. Fluffy Gita says Darlene. And Savage Hot Kitchen shows love. Darlene says hello, God blessings. Star shows love. Darlene Savage Ray. Savage Hot Kitchen shows love, 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 love. Darlene Savage Ray. Darlene Savage Ray. Ooh, Lou, James. I think I don't know. Where's that headset? Emoji. I don't know. I'll find that out. But thank you. Darlene X says Savage Ray. Cam Drake says, see you later, guys. I'm going to the bush to pick breadfruit for mama. All right. Well, thank you so much, Cam Drake. Yeah, you heard God say, carry breadfruit come. Yeah. All right. Savage Hot Kitchen says, Darlington, love. Star says, Savage Ray. Darlington says, Savage Ray. Mary Max thinks, right, well, return soon. Darlene X says, Savage Ray. Fluffy Diva TV with a laugh. Josh says, Cam Jamaica, see you later. Rights Wildlife, Mary Max TV, sorry, autocorrect, I described you. I subscribe to you and commented, love the content. So Rights Wildlife, you want to say you went to their house or you connected. From what I was told, we don't use that word. You just say you went to their house or you connected or what have you. You don't use that word. That's what I was told. Because I didn't understand that either. So don't feel bad, don't feel no kind of way. We learn. But it was told to me. My thing is, I asked why. They said because that's the jargon that they use. And I don't know if it's out of respect. They say the person who's on the admin of the live use that word, but everybody else don't. So that was my understanding. Savage can elaborate, and other people can elaborate, but yeah, that's the understanding that I got. Savage Hot Kitchen is laughing. Darlene X says, Savage Blessing Sissy. Darlene X says, she's laughing. Fluffy TV London Bridge was on fire today. Really? London Bridge was on fire today. What? Don't tell me that they're going back to that London Bridge is falling down. So, oh no. Listen, I hope everybody's safe and all right. Sophia says, pin your cash up if you have one to celebrate. Oh, how do you do that? Let me see. Hold on a minute, y'all. I have my co-host here. I didn't think about that, y'all. I didn't. So, let me see. No. Wait. Bob is going to talk to you. Give me a moment. love upon each other, man, and support each other. So, we do a video yesterday, and we do a live yesterday, guys. Waiting on Sammy to come. And they to come, so we do a live and they to come. And we come to a live also. And we do a video. We do a video also for the Airbnb, very nice place. You know, vaccine also, guys. We can look upon that, you know. Yeah, man. Remember, guys, when you look upon YouTube channel, leave comments. Leave comments, you can find the time to return. You know? Yeah. Jamaica land we love. Yeah, man, great, man. Yeah, man, Savage. Yeah, man, Savage are teaching, man. Good people. They're not big to speak up yourself in where they K1. You know, you never friend Jamaica still in the hands after the minute. You know, color Smith TV, big up yourself anywhere you go. Yeah, man, so. Big up to all out of alive and blessings to all out of alive. Get it right. Get it right, because get it right. This is not content creator, but I want to try to support our students. Strength is my support of my church, my mentor, and my mother, everything, you know? Yeah, man, so. You know? Yeah. Yeah, man, me I'm actually going to some more videos. Some more videos where I go when I town and go over the town of Manchester. And I go some different places. So yeah, I'm such a some videos. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So you can look forward to that. You know, that's a whole thing for internet. And everything for my you know, you can look forward to people. Did you do the talk? Oh, no. No. Beautiful. Send it to the farmer. Okay. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, you big up to Parasmith, man. Where are you, man? Parasmith, a real general, nice kid. Real general. Yeah, man, I never get virgin kid. Vibes, Jamaica. Yeah, vibes. Yeah, man. What time is it? Vibes, practically, Jamaica. Big up to them people. Anybody. Yeah, big up to everybody, man. I'm for us. Guys. Man, you can say it's my platform. I want to say it. I know we have to be loving for this, support it. I want to go on TikTok and see all the people that are supporting and love up the more than for a level. We take a page from TikTok book and put it over yourself. And I'm not aware of saying, and I always start saying, if a man drop a video, the lowest views that video to get from everybody platform is 1K. Whether you read thousands of you need either 4,000 W8, no matter when you reach. When you drop a video, if I have short, the lowest that video must be is 1K. And you can really tell me that I might believe, so we need to watch people that videos, you know, your heart feeling about and find time and watch video, man, and leave a comment, man. We are content creator, so we can go to support because if 1,000 smile leave comment from the thing you can see and say, like Savage, Darling, Isaac, Black Sun, you know, and everybody. You get me? I say, it can work. I see a new person, you know, right, wild. So, yeah, you know, and they'll do it. You know, I know sometimes, you know, guys, understand this, you know, sometimes when a man say content, you know, the numbers creating it. Sometimes, you know, what is that? Linda is it? Linda. Big up yourself. Blessing for you to come, you know. That's a good for pronouncing me. You can.
All jurors present accounted for.
All right, thank you, Sergeant Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right, State, call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the state now calls to the stand Mr. Derek Wise.
Summon Mr. Wise, please. Mr. Wise, good afternoon, sir. Sir, if you would please approach the witness stand. Once you get to the witness stand, if you would be so kind to turn and face Sergeant Brown and be sworn as witness, please, sir.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony and or statements you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I will see you get adjusted to the microphone. Scoot up close to the microphone. State your first and last name with the spelling of both for the court.
Derek Wise, DERRICKWISE.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wise.
Good afternoon.
Where are you from?
Atlanta,
What part of Atlanta?
West Side.
And where'd you go to high school?
Ain't but one high school, that's Booker T. Washington.
Oh,
All right. Did you graduate?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go after you attended B. Booker T. Washington High School?
Went to Atlanta Technical Institute.
And did you graduate from there?
Yes,
When?
98.
And what was your degree?
Associate degree in business and in barber and cosmetology.
Are you currently employed?
Yes,
What do you do?
I'm a barber full time.
And where do you work?
Bed and barbershop,
And where is that barbershop located?
338 McDaniel, Atlanta, Georgia.
And about how long have you been cutting hair?
Probably 30 years.
Non-stop?
Non-stop.
And how long have you been cutting at A&M Barbershop?
26 years.
How did you get your job at A&M Barbershop?
Mr. George.
Does Mr. George have a last name?
George Axel.
Who owns the A&M Barbershop?
Mr. George Axel.
Is he still with us today?
No, he's deceased.
Okay. And now showing you Space Exhibit 6 Yankee. And while that is being published, you'll see it on the screen momentarily. In what county is A&M Barbershop located?
It's in Fulton County.
Okay, to your left, there's a screen. And if you would be as kind to show what this screen can do. It's a smart screen. You can press these and you can draw anywhere on it and it'll put a mark on the screen, okay? Can you please put an X next to A&M Barbershop, if you see it. And utilizing State's Exhibit 6Y, do you see any other barbershops that you know of on this same street?
Yes,
What other barbershop do you see?
Hair Unlimited.
And where is Hair Unlimited? Put a circle on it where you see it. Okay, and what color is Hair Unlimited?
Green.
Okay. Is it still green today?
No.
Okay. What color is it if you know?
Cream, tan, brownish color.
Do you know what business or building what business is next to A&M Barbershop in that same plaza? Next door?
It was a restaurant back then in 2015.
Okay. You ever go in there?
Yes,
Was it good?
yes.
And what are your hours at A&M Barbershop?
Now or then,
Well, both. What was it then? In 2015, that is.
probably from 8 to 8. Now, 9 to 6:30, something like that.
Is that Monday through Friday?
Monday
or
through-
you work all day? All week?
Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday. Always been closed on Sunday and holidays.
Is there anything special about A&M Barbershop, Mr. Circle?
Yes.
Tell the jury, please.
Mr. George Axon, I think he was the oldest barber. He was the number 2 barber in Georgia. It's the oldest barbershop in Atlanta. It's just like the country club.
And when you say it's like the country club, what do you mean?
I mean, it's like everybody come there from all walks, all through the years. We're right in the AUC Center, so anybody has came through A&M Barbershop.
Are there, excuse me, are there any buildings or structures on the opposite side of where A&M Barbershop is located?
Yes,
Okay, what do you know that area to be located with? What buildings or structures do you know?
like across the street,
Yes, sir.
some apartments.
Okay. And earlier you said that Mr. George was the number 2 barber in Atlanta. What did you mean by that?
I mean, he was the oldest barber.
Okay.
He was the first barber ever to get his barber license.
Okay.
He was number 2.
Was he respected for that reason?
Mr. George was respected for a lot of stuff.
Okay.
The whole community.
Did he cut hair in that barbershop as well, or did he just have it as a business that he ran?
Both.
All right, and if you would turn around from the and face, the jury, I'm sorry, I keep you looking at the screen. When you said AUC earlier, what do you know the AUC to be?
Atlanta University Center.
Is that where Morehouse College is located?
Spelman, Morehouse, Clark.
Okay. All right. Do you know Morris Brown to be over there as well?
Morris Brown. Now.
Did you only cut hair with Mr. George in that barbershop, or were there other barbers there as well?
Other barbers.
Okay. Who else cut hair at that barbershop in 2015?
Me, Reverend Foster, Mr. George, Twan, Carlos, haircut.
Is Twan short for something?
Antoine.
And do you have a particular chair that you cut hair from inside that barbershop?
Yes.
Where's your chair?
Number 1 chair, first chair.
And when you say number 1 chair, is that closer or further from the front window that we're looking at on the screen of A&M Barbershop?
As soon as you come in, the first chair.
To the right or to the left?
To the right.
And have you held that chair for 26 years?
Yes.
Wow. Do you know in 2015 the location of the other barbers in terms of where they cut hair in that, the order, I should say, from where you sat, where they all cut hair?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that order was?
I'm in chair number 1. Swan is in chair number 2. Mr. George in chair number 3. Carlos in chair number 4. Reverend Foster in chair number 5, and Haircut in chair number 6.
And you said number 6 is who?
Haircut.
Oh, is that a nickname?
That's the name they gave him.
Okay. Did you ever know Haircut's real name?
Ray.
Ray.
Yes.
All right. Do any of those persons still cut hair at the barbershop today?
Yes.
Who still cuts hair at the barbershop today?
Me, Swan, and Carlos.
Are the other chairs empty?
Yes.
Okay. Is Mr. George's chair occupied?
No, it's like a memorial.
Is that barbershop in historic landmark?
Yes, it is.
Who owns it today now that Mr. George has transitioned?
The Axon family. Kids.
How many children did Mr. George have?
6. And then us.
Okay. When you say us, did he consider the barbershop a family type?
Absolutely.
Is that why you describe it as a country club, bro?
Well, no, but he treated us like his kids, and we treated him like he was our dad. So, and for a long period of time, that's what the relationship had built.
And in 2015, about how old Mr. George again?
He passed when he was like 92, 93, so probably 80, probably 82, 83, still working.
Did he cut hair to his last day?
To the last of the last.
Is the order in which that you described the barbershop, well, let me ask you this, present day, how is the order of those that remain that cut hair in the barbershop? What chairs do they occupy?
Oh, the objection.
You may answer the question.
The same order. I mean, everybody's still in the same chair.
Do you recall working on January 10th, 2015?
Yes,
At what time did you go into work there?
probably 8:30, 9 o'clock.
And what other barbers, if any, were working that day?
I mean, everybody worked that day, but a certain period of time, people leave, they leave. Everybody worked, their own schedules.
And were there a lot of patrons in the shop that day?
Yes.
And I'm now showing you a picture, an exhibit 3 Yankee. Oh, let me clear the screen for you, I forgot.
And you can do that with either the box after you draw, the trash bin.
On the screen. I've now shown you State's Exhibit 3 Yankee. Do you recognize the individual in this picture?
Yes.
And how do you recognize the individual in this picture?
One of our customers.
And do you know his name?
Nut.
And how long had you known that?
Not that long. I mean, he come in and get his hair cut. Him and whoever else he got with him.
Was it frequent that he would bring people with him?
Yeah, pretty much often.
Did they pay for their own haircuts?
Well, they might have paid sometime for their own haircuts, but the majority of the time when he came in, he used to just pay for everybody's haircut in there. He tipped good too.
I got you. When he came into the barbershop on January 10th. Did he get his haircut that day?
Yes,
Who cut his hair?
Mr. George.
And was that his only barber? Is Mr. George?
No, I've cut it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And was Mr. George his main barber?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And do you recall around or about what time he came into the shop that day to get his haircut?
It's getting dark.
On that day?
Yeah, that
Did he
day.
bring anyone with him?
Yes,
And did he pay for any haircuts that day?
yes.
How many people do you think he paid for haircuts?
Your Honor, I'm gonna check the relevance of that.
I stand the objection.
All right, don't answer that question.
Okay.
Can you describe Nuts' mood or demeanor that day that he came into the shop?
It was a Saturday. Playoff football was on, and everybody talking about sports in the barbershop. So it was a fluent atmosphere.
You said what? It was what?
It was a fluent atmosphere. Everybody was speaking on the sport. The playoff was on. So
Is it fair to say he was happy?
yeah.
About how long have you not been coming to that barbershop to get his haircut? Do you know?
4 or 5 years, maybe 6 years.
Excuse me. After Mr. Thomas, after Nut, excuse me, got his haircut, what if anything did he do in the shop? To your knowledge?
He paid for everybody's haircut that was in there.
Is that it?
Talked about sports a little more.
Was there ever a time that he left outside that barbershop?
Yes.
Do you know where, if at all, that he went?
It was about 7-ish. We were getting ready to close, so all the barbers, pretty much cutting hair that was cutting. And Mr. George got through cutting Nut hair, and he got out the chair. So Mr. George, he always do his little check before we get ready to close, go around and make sure things good. So he went outside to close the gate of the parking lot. He was like, who car's in the gate? So Nut car was parked inside the gate. So he pulled out the gate because we were getting ready to close, not like instantly, but we were getting ready. So he pulled down to the next parking lot.
I am going to now show you State's Exhibit 293 Yankee. And I'm going to go to the 6 minute and 20 seconds timestamp placement. And while that is being queued up, I want to ask you just a few questions about some of the things that you said for clarification. When you said that Mr. George was doing his checks, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like at the end of the day, a barber sweep around, check his chair, check his supplies, check the bathroom. But like I said, by being Mr. George's shop, he just checking his perimeter, going outside, looking at his other businesses, make sure everything good.
And did you all normally close around that time on that day, on that Saturday?
I mean, at the end of the day, when Mr. George say, I think it's about time to get out of here. Everybody know what it is,
Right.
Wrap it up.
All right. And were there still patrons, plenty of patrons inside the barbershop?
Yeah, but like I said, everybody was working to finish up what was in there.
And I am going to ask if we could go back just a few seconds further, maybe to the 6 minute mark on State's Exhibit 293. Yes. Do you see, thank you. And for the record, Your Honor, to be sure, this is the 5 minute and 56 second timestamp on State's Exhibit 23 Yankee. My apologies for not clarifying. Mr. Wise, utilizing the same tool that I showed you on the side, it still should be going. Can you circle the lot that you knew to be adjacent that Mr. George was going to close, the gate that you described?
So you should circle it.
Yes, if you can circle it, or put an X, either one. All right, so you just placed a circle on State's Exhibit 293 Yankee. And is that lot to the left or to the right of A&M Barbershop?
To the left.
Okay, if I'm presuming that we're looking at this from this angle, directly at it, from facing the business, is that to the left or to the right?
Oh, it's to the right.
Okay.
Yes.
And when that gate closed, did Nut move his vehicle before that gate was closed that day?
Yes.
Okay, and can you, utilizing the same method that I showed you just a few seconds ago, can you place an X in the lot that he would have moved his truck outside of the gated area that you just placed a circle on the exhibit? Okay, all right. And is that area gated that you just placed an X?
No.
Okay. Is the area that contains the gate that you placed the circle a part of the business that was owned by Mr. George?
Say that
I'll
again.
rephrase. Did Mr. George own or control the area where you placed the circle?
Yes.
Okay. Did Mr. George own or control the area where you placed the X?
No.
All right, just a brief motion, Your Honor. After Nut moved his vehicle, did he ever return inside of A&M Barbershop?
I don't think so.
And what, if anything, took place, to your knowledge, after Nut moved his vehicle from the gated lot to the open parking space nearby, adjacent to A&M Barbershop?
Once he moved his car, I cut a gentleman that was with him, and I got through with him. He got out the chair and he went out the door. But I don't know if it was somebody else that was with him getting a haircut at Hair Unlimited. See, a lot of time by the barbershop being so close and we friendly with each other, some patients go there, some people go, everybody knows it. So he got out my chair, he went out the door. And after that, it was all over with.
I want to put a pin and come back to when you say it's all over with. You spoke earlier about Hair Unlimited Barbershop.
Yes.
And you said it was friendly. Do you know the owner in there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know how many barbers were there? Did you know?
No, I don't know.
But did you all go to each other's barbershops from time to time?
Yeah, Mr. George trained Herbert Parker. So he originally started working for Mr. George in our barbershop. He branched out and got his own, that was before I got there. So Mr. George only be he be a barber, he be an entrepreneur, he be a man, he's just a good, he him.
You stated, that after he moved his vehicle, that it was all over. Can you describe and explain for the jurors today what it is that you mean by that?
We heard gunshots, so automatically everybody hit the floor. We heard a lot of gunshots. Even Mr. George hit the floor. He 83, 84 years old, so everybody hit the floor. When the shooting was over with, we got up. And so I peeked out the door by me being, and I peeked out the door to see what's going on. And I see somebody laying on the sidewalk outside. So I go out the door. I'm the first one out the door. And I tell Reverend Foster came out the door behind me. Went down to the sidewalk and found out that it was Peanut he was shot. So I just went to try to render aid, hollering back at the barbershop telling somebody to call 911 because somebody been shot. So once he been shot, D come out of his business next door to the barbershop. He comes, so they trying to render aid on that. At this time, everybody coming out of everywhere. So they coming out of Hair Limited too. So everybody's coming out of everywhere. So asking that where he been hit at.
I sustain the objection.
Your Honor, that's a question I stated.
Please don't respond to what I just ruled. Just move on and ask another question, okay? All right, thank you, sir.
You said a lot there, and I want to unpack it. When the shots rang out, you stated that everyone hit the floor.
Yes.
Was anyone in your barbershop, that being A&M barbershop, hit by any of the gunfire?
No.
What, if anything, occurred after you heard the gunshots stop inside the barbershop? Did you all stay on the ground for a long period of time?
Some people ran in the bathroom, some people hit the floor, some no. There was a lot of going on.
Did any bullets or projectiles enter an A&M barbershop?
No.
And after the gunfire was shot, well, let me ask you this question. Did this gunfire last for a minute or a few seconds?
In between minutes and seconds. No, it wasn't short and it wasn't long, but it happened. It was rapid.
Do you earlier you stated that you were the first one up and out the door. Did you peer out the window before you went out?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the window I can see out the window just like from me to here. So I'm looking out the window, but the shots were so loud, it sounded like that it happened on the sidewalk. So that's why everybody hit the ground. But when I went out on the sidewalk, it wasn't right there in front of our barbershop. It was on down, on the sidewalk. So it did happen, like on the sidewalk.
Did it sound like it was more than one gun?
I sustain the objection.
Can you describe the sounds of the gunfire?
Rapid.
When you say it was rapid, can you describe what you mean by that?
A whole bunch at one time.
And when you say a whole bunch, are you talking about guns or bullets, or both?
A whole bunch of gunfire.
And can you, to your best ability, describe the actual sound of the gunfire?
Da, 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 da. Boom, 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 da, 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 da. I mean,
Just a brief minute. When you got off the ground and went outside, did you see Nut right away, or did it take you a time?
right away.
And what was Nut wearing that day of January 10th, 2015?
Camouflage.
Okay. Camouflage clothing?
Top and bottom.
Do you know if he had anything on his head?
I think it probably was a skull cap. He used to wear skull cap, different colors, you know.
About how long after Nut moved his vehicle did you hear those gunshots that you described a few moments ago that rang out?
No longer than 10 minutes. It couldn't have been 10 minutes. Maybe been a little less or a minute more, but I'm gonna say right at 10 minutes.
gunshot something you hear regularly on that Daniel Street block that you work at?
I sustain the objection.
All right. Earlier you described that there were a few persons that, you said there were a lot of people that came to the area where after the gunshots had finished. Do you recall that part of your testimony?
Yes.
Amongst the people that had come to the area where that gunfire had been initiated, did you see anyone that you know by the name of Sammy?
Yeah, Sammy's always around.
Okay. And how did you know Sammy?
I used to cut Sammy, Sammy brother-in-law hair, cut Sammy hair, cut all whole Sammy family hair. I mean, this community, we cut everybody hair. So I've been knowing Sammy, plus Sammy the Bulldog too.
He's a Georgia Bulldog?
No, Washington High.
Okay. All right. When you came to the area, well, let me ask you a few more questions about Mr. Sammy. Where was he when you came outside?
Well, I didn't see Sammy directly.
Okay.
I just seen the people that was on the ground.
What do you know, Sammy? Do you know what kind of work Sammy did in that little area?
Sammy's a detailer.
Okay.
Park cars. That's what he do. Wash cars and
You have a detail park your car?
yeah, Sammy wash them cars. Not park, but wash cars all the time. He wash them cars. We have several guys that, wash cars, so.
When you left the shop to go to the gunfire, let me ask you a better question. Did the gunfire sound like it was coming from down the street or right next to your shop?
At the beginning?
Yes.
At the beginning, it sounded like it was right outside the door.
Okay. Is there a time after you say the beginning that it got a little more distant?
Yes.
Okay. Is it fair to say that it sounded like it was traveling down the day?
Yes.
Okay. When you went outside, excuse me, following the gunfire, did you see any firearms on the ground?
No.
Did you see any firearms on the ground near Nut?
No.
Did you see anybody else? Was Nut hit by any of the gunfire that you heard?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anybody else near or around Nut that had been affected by the gunfire?
Yes.
Do you know if they had been hit?
Yes.
Do you, when you went to where Nut was on the ground, do you know any landmarks or any things that may have been near the vicinity where he was located?
He was laying on the sidewalk.
Okay. I am now publishing for you State's Exhibit 14 name. Excuse me. excuse me, Mr. Wise, to your left, again, there is a screen. What I want you to do is utilizing the same touch method that I showed you earlier. If you would be as kind to put an X where you would have saw Mr. Nutt on January 10th, 2015, laying when you came outside.
Is it touch?
Oh, it didn't show up. Let me assist. Now it should. Okay. Just a brief motion. About how many other persons do you know? You can face me just for a second so I can ask these other questions, or the jury actually. How many other persons were hit by the gunfire that rang out on January 10th, 2015?
That I could see at least two more.
Okay. Do you know if they had any relationships in that?
I mean, if they were standing by and they got to know him, you can't be around somebody you don't know.
And utilizing this exhibit one more time, which is again State's Exhibit 14 Yankee, I would ask that you would put a circle and a triangle in the places that you would have seen them located when you came out and observed Mr. Nutt on the ground. All right. Now, when you exited the barber shop and you approached Nutt, what, if anything, did you do at that time?
I mean, trying to run the aid, tell them to call 911. So me and Reverend Foster and D was right there, and they asked for towels from, I think Hair Limited gave them towels and stuff, trying to stop the bleeding.
Who was D?
I don't know his real name. He owned the restaurant that's next door to the barber shop.
Okay. And when you said the restaurant, I'm gonna show you a different exhibit. When you said the barber shop, which one are you talking about?
Next door to A&M.
Okay. You're talking about, are you speaking about Hair Unlimited that is on screen in the green?
No.
Okay.
It's a restaurant next door to A&M.
Okay. Is it on the earlier exhibit that was shown for you, which I believe to be State's Exhibit number 5?
Yes.
Yankee?
Yes.
And is that the same restaurant that you said you had tried their food?
Yes.
And that it was good?
Yes.
Okay. And I am showing you on the screen at this time, State's Exhibit 6 Yankee. And I am asking if you can identify that restaurant that you were speaking about for clarity by putting an X on the screen. Oh, still doing it again. And that's my fault. Now you can. Did you know the name of that restaurant?
No.
Okay. All right. So you tried to render aid. During this time that you were attempting to render aid, is Reverend Foster attempting to do the same?
Yes.
Are you on the ground with that at this time?
Well, at the time when I got off the ground, Rev and D trying to see where he hit it and and cover up, the wounds. So by this time, I'm telling them somebody, it was somebody else there with him. And like I said, 911 hadn't came yet, so we're still trying to run the aid. So I'm looking back behind, and it's somebody else that's hit. So I went to him, trying to run the aid to him, tell him to call for another ambulance. So we need 2 ambulances.
Who did you tell to call for an ambulance?
I mean, hollering inside the barbershop. So it's like the barbershop right there hollering, we need call 911. We need another ambulance.
And to your knowledge, do you know if anyone did call 911?
I'm quite sure, yeah, he was on the phone with him.
And when you say he was on the phone, who was
My coworker.
Who was that?
I think Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go back to a few things that you said. When you were rendering aid to Nut. Were you the only person rendering aid?
No.
Okay. At what point, at the point that you got up for Nut and saw the other individuals that were hit by the gunfire, did Reverend Foster continue to render aid
Yes.
to Nut?
Reverend Foster and D.
Okay. And at that point, well, prior to you getting up, do you recall, if anything, Nut saying anything to you? Your Honor, it is, may we approach? I will speak with the objection.
All right, come on up.
Good witness concern statement. Mr. Wise, before the brief moment of you stepping out, I asked you a question. I'll ask it again to put you right back where we were. Before you left out, I asked you, what, if anything, did Nut say to you as you were rendering aid? You may answer that question.
He was talking to, well, me, D, and Rail right there directly at him. And we were asking him where was he hit at. And, he was like he was losing consciousness, but he did say, he said, I'm gone. He said, I'm gone.
And when he said, I'm gone, what did you understand that to be? Me.
It was over with. But so that's when Reverend Foster, we was telling him to fight for his life.
Right. That would be a perfect situation. I'm over with the objection.
We was just telling him to fight for his life. Fight. Reverend Foster directly at him was telling him to fight. Because like I said, he's the pastor, he was just telling him, you can fight. You got something to live for, fight.
Did you see where Nut was wounded?
Yes.
Where was he wounded?
Up under his, somewhere like up under his armpit, right toward the back.
Left or the right side?
I don't know if it's the left or the right, but I'm saying up under, because we had to roll him over to see where he was hit. It was like up under his armpit, like toward the back. That was just one of the places, but I don't know overall how many where he was hit at, but that was just the main one that I know that they tried to apply pressure to because that was the biggest one.
After you got up from where Nut was laying with Reverend Foster and D, you stated earlier that you went to see where the other individuals were. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Did you see where they were hit?
Yes.
Where were they?
One of them was hit like in the stomach, and the other one was hit like in the leg.
And was there ever a time that emergency services arrived to that crime scene?
The police came first.
And
To me, it just seemed like it took forever for the ambulance to come.
did this seem like a fast-moving situation or slow motion?
No, it just seemed like the ambulance took forever to get there.
When the ambulance finally arrived, were you still in the area where Nut was laying on the ground?
Well, by this time, like I said, the police the first one there, so they moving everybody back. And then, trying to see which part is the crime scene, but I think they put up the yellow tape trying to keep people out of the crime scene. But when the ambulance did come, the first one came and they got Nut, they put him on the gurney. And then the police already was telling them that it was some more people that were shot. So they already had to call for some more paramedics. But I did, like I said, I seen it from the time we're trying to see it through, from the time they told us to go inside, because by this time, everybody was there, the police, the ambulance, and it was a fully involved crime scene. So they told everybody to go back inside their business so they can work the crime scene.
And at the time that you were told to go back inside of the business so they could work the crime scene, did you in fact go back into your business? And when you re-entered A&M Barbershop, is that correct?
Yes.
When you re-entered A&M Barbershop, what was happening inside, if anything?
I mean, it was It was chaos. Just couldn't believe what had happened.
At the time that you re-entered into A&M Barbershop, did anyone else inside there know that nut had been hit?
Everybody knew. I mean, everybody came out. So it's like, like when something happened, it's just like anywhere, police come, everybody trying to see what's going on.
What was the demeanor of the people that were inside? You may answer that question.
Everybody was stunned and shocked that, that we just got through serving these customers and then this happened.
Did any of the customers that were in the shop leave out by the time that you had returned?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that the people that remained were those that worked there?
Yes.
After you were instructed by law enforcement to return back into the barbershop so they could work the crime scene, what, if anything, did you all do while you were inside?
I mean, to me, most of all, I just prayed because I just know the situation wasn't good. It's just like being in the middle of a conversation. And first name you gonna call on is Jesus because it was a bad situation. It was just a real bad situation.
How long did you stay at the shop that evening?
They let me get probably about 12. They let me leave out because it was kind of wrapping up, but I might have used out about 12-ish.
When you say you eased out, did that mean you didn't ask them for permission?
No, it's like that. They work in the crime scene and they might release this end before they do the north side drive end because the whole street was a crime scene. So that's why they might have let this end out before this end.
I want to go back before we continue with where we are. I want to go back to when you indicated that Nut went out to move his car because you all were closing. Was there ever a time, to your knowledge, that the gate on the other parking lot that was to the right of, that is to the right of A&M Barbershop was actually in fact closed?
To the right, there's no gate to the right. The only gate is to the left.
Well, if I am facing with my back to A&M.
Okay, so.
To the left,
Yeah.
did that gate ever close?
Yes.
Okay, who closed it, do you know?
Mr. George.
Were there any other cars left inside the gate when it was closed?
I don't know because, we don't even focus on that now.
In between, I'm going to direct your attention to State's Exhibit 284 Yankee Golf. And I'm going to provide you with a wooden pointer. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. This area where you see the number 49, do you know what that business is?
It was a restaurant also.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you, do you know what this building is?
Hair Unlimited.
Okay, and do you know what this structure to the right of the building that has the 49 on it is?
This is our building, but this is the restaurant. The first one to the left is the restaurant. Then to the right is the A&M Barbershop.
And to your knowledge, do you know if there was any other vehicles inside this open space where the number 49 is on State's Exhibit 284 Yankee Golf?
Yes.
And do you know what vehicle or whose vehicle that was?
It was the people that own the restaurant. They parked right there.
Okay. And do you know, to your knowledge, when you exited the building outside of the front of Hair Unlimited, if there was another vehicle that you recognized?
Yes.
Did you know whose vehicle that was at all?
Yes.
Okay, whose vehicle was that?
Mr. Parker, he parked right there, and then Mr. Sam, they always park right in front of the barbershop, 1, 2.
Okay.
No, 1, then 2.
And where was utilizing State's Exhibit, again, 284 Yankee Golf, and utilizing the wooden pointer that you have in hand? I'm gonna move my back so that the jurors can see. Can you use the wooden pointer to show where Nut would have been laying when you found him on the ground?
Right there.
Was there a vehicle that was close by to him on the, in that parking lot?
To the parking lot was his, they said that was his car.
Okay.
But to the street, that was Sam's car.
Okay. Right. All right. Did you speak with any officers that evening?
Yeah, they came in the barber shop and they got all our names and IDs and everything. You know, they did a little investigation.
Was it one or more than one officer?
More than one.
Okay. Do you remember any of the names of the
No,
officers that you spoke
no
with?
names.
Is it fair to say because it's been a long time?
But it's been super long.
Do you recall ever seeing any shell casings around or about A&M barbershop?
No,
Do you recall seeing any shell casings around or about where the end of the restaurant connected to A&M barbershop was located?
no.
Okay. Was it daylight or nighttime on the day of the incident?
It was night.
And where did you go after you left the barbershop that night?
Home.
And I'm now going to show you State's Exhibit 292 Yankee Alpha. And this video has already been admitted into evidence. And I am going to ask Ms. Knight to play the video, and if you would be as kind, when or if you see any persons that you can recognize, would you please say as much when that happens, or if it should happen.
Okay.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to fast forward the State's Exhibit, which is 292 Yankee Alpha, to the timestamp of 8:08, such as not to play portions that are not pertinent. And
See the camouflage.
if 8:08, yes. You said you saw camouflage. Where do you see that on the screen?
That on camouflage.
Okay, if you would be as kind with the state's marking tool on this smart board, would you be as kind to circle where you see none in camouflage on this exhibit, please?
But you gotta go back because it went on and then it stopped.
If you could go back to about 5 minutes and 59 seconds, I believe it was. This might be. It's a technology glitch, Your Honor.
And you said put a circle around it?
Yes, if you just kind to place a circle, it should still be able to do it.
Okay.
No, it's not actually because screen was canceled out. So if you can do it now, you can put a circle around where you see a nut. Do you see anybody else in this frame of this of this segment of the State's Exhibit 292 Yankee Alpha at timestamp 601 that you recognize?
No.
Okay. I'm going to actually clear the screen from the circle that you placed on the smart board. And I'm going to ask Ms. Knight to play State's Exhibit 292 Yankee Alpha from 808 timestamp. And then from there, if you would be kind to identify any persons that you know or recognize, should that be the case.
I still just see nut with the camouflage.
Okay. How many people do you see on the screen at this time?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. What are they standing next to?
A SUV.
If you may pause, Ms. Knight. What did you just see happen, if anything, on State's Exhibit 292 Yankee Alpha around or about the 842 time, just after the 842 timestamp?
It's just a matter of shooting, everybody running.
Now we may continue playing from the 842 timestamp. The vehicle on the closest to the passenger side of the SUV that you described, is that the vehicle that you were speaking about belonged to the restaurant owner?
Yes.
Who is, do you recognize the person that is kind of limping on the screen?
He look familiar. I see me.
You see me?
No, you said recognize people that I see the. I see me.
Okay, you see yourself.
Yeah.
And do you recognize what you were wearing at that time?
Not really. I mean, dark clothes. And I see.
When you see yourself again, say so fast, but it's not impossible. Do you see yourself at this point?
Yes, right.
Okay, pause, please. Where are you
But
looking?
you got to go back. You know, went past it. Right now, you on the screen. That's Reverend Foster.
Who is, could you please circle Reverend Foster?
It ain't.
Shut up. person you just circled, Reverend Foster?
Yes.
Okay, could you clear the screen using that garbage can next to you on that same, yep, all right, and you said we would have to go back to see?
And I see, well, yeah, Reverend Foster and the D was, standing right behind the one that was helping render aid.
Yes, sir. Can we play from here? Just a brief moment to technology run. We are starting at now that it's been reopened at the 8:08 25 timestamp run due to the technology glitch. Yes, sir. Before we go ahead. Sure, there you go. All right. More than that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and, so you don't starve any further, okay? Break for lunch, and we'll go ahead and come back after lunch. So why don't we take an hour and just come back at 2:30? Mr. Wise?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna release you for lunch. If you just come back right for 2:30, okay?
Sure.
Don't discuss testimony of anybody except the attorneys in this case, all right? All right, all rise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our jury has left us. We'll be in recess for now. Okay. All right, thank you.